Today I wanted to talk about a few things. One is I'm really excited about having scheduled my tummy tuck and breast lift. I talked to the patient coordinator for my surgeon in Mexico that did my gastric band, which I also wanted to talk about. They're going to get me back a quote for plastic surgery. I sent them nudie pictures. No bra or anything, and to get back a quote for the plastic surgery. I'm really excited about finally deciding to do that, and after watching a bunch of the other YouTube videos and channels on their tummy tucks and breast lifts, I feel pretty confident and good about it. So I wanted to talk about a couple things. The first was that I got a gastric band 9 years ago, in 2003, and I weighed about 215 and was in a size 20, I think heading toward a 22. I'm 5'3", and I lost 90 pounds altogether, and so I lost the last 20 over the next year or two. It was pretty gradual and easy, and it just seemed to keep melting off. It was nice. So at the 3-year point, I maintained my weight for 3 years without any fills, visits to the doctor, issues or anything. And then I started to have some problems with acid reflux, which would have been simple if I'd just gone back to Tijuana. They could have taken a little bit of fluid out of my band and everything would have been fine. But at the time I had health insurance, and I thought, I'll just go through my health insurance to, not only save money but convenience. I don't have to go, airfare and hotel and all of that. So seemed like a good idea, but my health insurance took a long time going about it. And by the time I finally got in, I was having pretty severe problems, throwing up blood and none of my food going down. And looking back, I can't figure out why I didn't just go to Mexico. But nevertheless, I finally got in, and at that point we decided to take all the fluid out of my band to allow everything time to heal. Got punctured during the refilling process. And during this whole time I'm gaining weight, because for 6 years I hadn't been able to eat pig out and eat like a pig. And so my tubing got punctured, and then my band wasn't working at all. And it took my HMO months to finally admit that the band was broken, and they replaced it. Well, a few months after the surgery to replace it, I noticed it's really uncomfortable and it's rubbing up against my rib cage. I'll show you. This is where, let me suck my tummy in so you can see it a little better. This is where my access port is now, and that's my ribs right there. And depending on if I bend over or sit up or down, it rubs back and forth against the my rib cage, and sometimes overlaps where it is now. This is the scar that kind of shows you where it is now. And then this, let me look. This is where my access port was before. That was a very comfortable spot, worked great. I had a low profile access port, and I didn't even notice it was there. I forgot all about it. I'm right around 155 now. The problem is if I lose any more weight, my breasts and my belly is all the extra skin. It just gets worse. Let me try to suck my belly in. It just gets more wrinkled, more puckered, and actually I have more skin that I had tucked into my pants. But the more weight I lose, the worse that looks, and the worse my breasts look. So the 155 for the amount of skin I have this is kind of as good as it gets without skin removal surgery. So all of that whole story come full circle to I decided when I go get the access port moved and everything that I want to get my breasts lifted and to get my tummy tuck, to get my muscles stitched in and get rid of all that extra skin and take off the fat selectively. Because even if I lose another 30 pounds, I'm still going to have the last 30 pounds. I'll have tons of extra skin and nothing to fill it, and my face will get older and saggier and more wrinkly, and it just seems like if I can just take the weight off where I want it, get my boobs lifted, get my tummy tucked, lipo out a little bit off my butt and thighs, and call it good. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I've never honestly liked my breasts, the location of my nipples. I always felt like they were kind of down and out to the side, and that they were never ever perky or pretty. They're certainly not more attractive now. So I'm excited about the idea of having prettier than ever boobs. I mean, who cares if I have a big scar from here to here? They'll still look better than they ever did. And I wasn't going to get an augmentation or an implant. I think I have enough flesh in here. This isn't padding. I think they'll look pretty much like this, but they'll look like this in their own skin instead of they have to be poured into the bra to have this shape now. I really love my surgeons, Dr. Verboonen and Dr. Rios, and the patient coordinator that I met, that I talked to yesterday, was really nice and fun, engaging, interesting, friendly. A little embarrassed because he is handsome. Felt somewhat comfortable sending my nudie photos for him to give to the plastic surgeon for the quote on that. But I feel really confident with my decision to go there. When I went and I had my gastric banding surgery in Mexico, I felt like I was treated like the rich and famous. They picked me up from the airport. They drove me to my to the office to go do the labs and the ops, and they explained everything to me. They laid out all the different bands and access ports and let me decide which ones I wanted and explained the differences. And I felt like I was one of the family or something. I really felt like they cared about me and they took great care of me. They took me over, to the surgery center. They took me back to the hotel. The patient coordinator at that time, I don't recall his name, took my then boyfriend, and showed him a night on the town, the night I was recovering from surgery and just sleeping. Just amazing. They did great quality work, especially, once I went to my HMO, I found that everything was different there. That basically Dr. Verboonen and Rios set me up for an expectation of level of quality of service and treatment that I wasn't able, aside from Dr. Cirangle, I was not able to find here in the U.S. Dr. Cirangle was great, but since he wasn't covered through insurance, it was very expensive to go see him. He was worth every penny. But my HMO experience was really bad. Having the fluoroscopy when you get your fills is huge because you drink a thick barium. At least this is the way my surgeon did it in Mexico. And they get it just right. Not too tight, not too loose. It really lasts. I think, maybe the first year I had 3 fills. I had to make trips to Mexico to get 3 fills. I wished I had done that instead of trying to go through my HMO later, that I'd never let my HMO touch it. It would have been worth the airfare, hotel, and, 4 days off work or whatever to have avoided 2 more surgeries that, in my mind, are unnecessary. Nevertheless, I love my band. It's the only reason that I can get thin and keep it off, like maintaining my 155. I needed another fill. But due to my access port rubbing against my rib cage, my band isn't working. We can't fill it at all right now. The access port is not working. And so it just seemed like the perfect time, since I need to go down to Mexico and get surgery done anyways to fix my access port, that I want to get something I want out of it instead of just fixing the mistake that my HMO surgeon made. That's not fun. That's not a fun way to blow my money. Coming back with a flat tummy like I was in my 20s and, breasts with nipples and everything better than they ever were my whole life, that I could feel good about. That's something I can, throw some money at and I know I'll enjoy and I'll get my money's worth out of it. And I love my band. I want to make it work. I'm not going to let it fail me. I think some of the people that have problems or don't like their band or have failure, not everybody, but I think some of them is because of the U.S. doctor's treatment and the way that they treated me. I don't see how anybody would be happy with their band the way I was treated. Their plan was to take a year or two to get enough fluid in it before you even notice it's working. That is absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason. And I'm sure this is not the case for everybody. But the people who I witnessed the videos who are unhappy, I suspect that they were treated here in the U.S. And that their band experience would have been different if they had had it under fluoroscopy. Like, my tubing would have never been punctured if it was under fluoroscopy, or if it was, we all would have seen it on the video camera and the tape recording, and there'd be no denying or pretending it's not punctured and spending 6 months, fighting over whether it's broken or not before they finally, it was a slow leak. So the problem is they would fill it and they would think everything was fine, and minutes later I would tell them, no, it's not working, and they would tell me I was crazy and I didn't know what I was talking about. Not those exact words, but, they looked at me like I was crazy and, like something they'd like to scrape off their shoe. Nevertheless, even more so, it makes me feel really comfortable about getting my plastic surgery done in Mexico by the plastic surgeon that they're referring to me. I don't have that plastic surgeon's name, but when I get it, I will, of course, include that here. And then I'm going to take video, surgery day after. I've seen some other people's videos, but I couldn't get enough of it planning my surgery, so I figure one more of those kind of videos won't hurt. Yeah, so the boob lift with no augmentation and tummy tuck is the plan, and I will be going to Tijuana. I feel really confident about my decision and that I'll have a great result with my surgeons in Mexico. So I know I've rambled on. Hopefully I will somehow edit this down to something shorter than the probably 30-minute rambling. But yeah, to summarize, I love my gastric band. It was worth everything. It is not the band's fault that my HMO damaged it and that they schmucked up the replacement surgery. And it doesn't need that much maintenance if you have a doctor like my surgeon in Mexico that gets you the good fill and the right fill and takes care of you. And when you tell them you think there's something wrong, they care. How fast can you get here? What's your air flight, your airline, flight number and everything, so we can be there to pick you up and come take care of you. So they're amazing people there. Love my band, and I've been thinking really for since I had my surgery and lost weight, and even before that, just from having kids is where my excess skin comes from. So, or at least the majority of it. Yeah, so I'm really excited about having better than ever boobs, having the stomach I had back in my 20s, and getting my band and my access port worked so I can lose that last few pounds. I'm going to try to bust ass and get into as good of shape as I can before the surgery, but I don't want to lose too much more weight. Like I said before, my breasts, my face, everything looks worse with the skin if I lose more weight. And I want there to be something in there to be lifted up. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to selectively cut and lipo off the remaining fat in the areas I choose. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you up to date. I'm expecting in the next day or two a call from the patient coordinator to get the name of the plastic surgeon so I can research that person, look at their before and after photos, and get a price, most importantly. Can I afford it? It might just be tummy tuck only because, if I can't afford the whole thing. But great results, great surgeons, great treatment. The aftercare was great. Really looking forward to going back and being treated the way they've made me feel entitled to feel that way. I almost can't. It's difficult to find a doctor in the U.S. that treats me as well as they do now. My expectation level has been set pretty high. Although my plastic surgeon, Dr. Roger here in Lodi by my office, he is just as good. However, he does not do the band and can't fix my access port. And a big part of the motivator for this plan is to fix my access port and my skin at the same time. And if only Dr. Roger could do both, I just have it done here by him. But I know I'll be very satisfied with the treatment and results that I'll get in Mexico. Anyhow, have a nice day. Thanks for watching.